at least get the lines in place. The lines in place for the driving lights are already connected. With the wiring for the fog lights, this set comes with your wiring, comes with the switch, the relay. It already has an inline fuse and the connections. You can connect it directly to the battery and ground, but the thing I like about it is I don't have to run out and get a fuse for it because it's already built in. The main thing right about now is just making sure I have enough line to reach to the inside. Okay, with all that in place, I think that'll be enough to reach to wherever I need. Okay, next I would like to do my fog lights. And just to point out one thing, so that's why I added my door guards. They come in real handy. In order to connect our lights, there are two pieces we need to add to the picture. One is going to be this here relay, which will go under in the engine compartment, and another will be the button. Figure out a location you want to put it. In order to get this panel off, right behind here where the lever is, on the side here, see how your fingers can get right up in there? Just put a couple in there and pull towards you and down, and that will release that. From here, just continue to pull, slide. At this point, you can work this piece off and pull it on down. Now there is a screw right here at the bottom that if you want to completely remove it, just remove that screw. Other than that, just be careful not to break it away from there. So I'm gonna see, it's got little latches that you press in. Get your good light source, because there's going to be two little like pins on each side. You have to press in and pull and push forward and just wiggle them from side to side. Try to work it from side to side, and eventually you'll get it to slide on out. And those are the little pins on each side that's holding it in place. Just get them pressed in and slide forward. Your new switch, put the light at the top and just slide it into place, and that's it. See right there, pretty much middle screen, there's that shiny piece. That's the extension from my socket, one of the extensions that's pushing through that boot. So that's what I'm gonna go for. All I can tell you with this is good luck with it. So I'm hoping this is enough light, because I'm gonna go ahead and go on through with this. You're gonna want to put your relay in place, and I think I'm just gonna use this spot here. Probably also use this spot to ground it. I have my lines ran pretty much to where I would like to have them. So next is to, like I say, put my relay in place. Ground wire in place, get your relay set up and in place. After you figure out how you want to bring your line through and your fight is over with that, next I want to make sure that I have power to it. So I am going to connect it, and it did end up being long enough to reach to the location. I'm gonna have to bring it in, up, the line will end up being just long enough if I bring it up through there to the switch location. Okay, it clicked. Let's see. Let's go hook the hot side up. This is just advice from what I'm experiencing. I'm not saying that you should do it this way. I'm saying do your own research and figure out what you need to do. This is just some things you might want to consider. I'm not saying to go about it this way or anything. I'm not responsible for any of your electrical loss, shortages, or outages. I'm just telling you to do your own research. Okay, just for the time being, I'm going to use the battery. Let's see what we have. All right. I think this little glue idea is holding up pretty good. So I'm going to just cut the end off here. We'll cut it down a little, at least a couple inches, so I can always use that. Put it in the top slot because that's your accessory slot. Okay, so here's my setup. The first one for the driving lights, I did end up using ECU IG2 number 1, and for the fog lights I end up using ECF 1-2 number 2. Both of those require 10 amps. I have the empty socket under there again, which I was going to use. Can't use the one over here as I saw suggested in another video. My hot side, the source side, is the left side. So if I use it over here, I'm going to have to turn it around, which I want to make sure I connect them properly. So I want to make sure these are facing the accessory side as they go out. So with this first one, I connected the driving lights. The second one, I connected the fog lights. The first slot, the one closest, the one on the bottom, is the one intended for whatever OEM specs. Whatever the fuse you pull out is to go in the first one. The second one, the top one, is intended for your accessory. Now, as well as testing them, if you test them, you use the top slot, one for the accessory as well. So I'm having to use this here little section because all of these are live. If I plug it into these, I'm going to have continuous source to the battery. If I can get a toggle switch or something, then maybe I could use these. You're going to want a toggle switch or some sort to use these if you don't want a live source feed to that accessory. So when I connected my fog lights to this, even when I turned the car off, the fog lights were still on. It still showed lit. Now with this setup, it's a relay on the fog lights. I hope this here goes in a little bit more detail as of how I went about setting up my fog lights and driving lights. Hopefully it'll be helpful. I'd also like to point out, as I was adjusting the relay for the fog lights, I broke it. So what I'm gonna do is just get some 3M and stick it right there on the side of the fuse box. At this point, I'm gonna turn it over to start the car and then turn it off to see if the driving lights affect the car turning off. Okay, that was a start and a turn off, no problems. I'm gonna wait to see what happens. So now, that's what I was waiting for. As the car completely powers down, as you saw, the fogging lights turn themselves off. Lock, unlock, and that's pretty much a wrap on the lights.